My teenage son stormed out after I caught him with a vape and took his phone. He yelled that I never trusted him, that I treated him like a criminal. I told him he could come back when he was ready to talk. That was the last thing I ever said to him. He took the curve too fast that night, but not because he was angry or distracted, because a pickup truck swerved into his lane on purpose. When I got to the scene, the driver was already gone. Witnesses said he'd been tailgating my son all the way down the hill, flashing his brights, revving his engine. The police called it a tragic accident, but I found dashcam footage from a male van parked near the intersection. I'm Karen, 39, a high school English teacher in a small Colorado town. My son Lucas was 16, a junior with a sharp wit and a love for skateboarding. He wasn't perfect, moody, stubborn, like any teenager, but he was my world. His dad left when he was 3, so it was just us, navigating life in our creaky ranch house. Lucas had been pushing boundaries lately, sneaking out, grades slipping. When I found a vape in his backpack last month, I lost it. "You're better than this," I yelled, snatching his phone. He fired back, his face red. "You never trust me. You treat me like a criminal." I told him to come back when he was ready to talk. He grabbed his skateboard and stormed out. That was the last time I saw him alive. Hours later, my phone rang a number I didn't know. "Mrs. Miller?" a voice said. "This is Officer Grant, Colorado State Patrol. There's been an accident with your son." My heart stopped. I drove to the scene, a sharp curve on Hill Road, my hands shaking. Lucas's car, a beat-up Civic I'd bought him for his birthday, was crumpled against a tree. Paramedics were there, but their faces told me everything. He was gone. Grant said Lucas took the curve too fast, hit the tree. "No drugs or alcohol," he added, like that was supposed to comfort me. Witnesses mentioned a pickup truck tailgating him, flashing brights, revving its engine, but it was gone by the time police arrived. "Probably just a reckless driver," Grant said. "Tragic accident." I couldn't accept it. Lucas was a careful driver, always cautious on that curve. I went home, his room untouched skateboard posters, dirty socks on the floor, and found a note in his backpack. "Mom, I'm sorry. I'll make you proud." My chest caved. He wasn't angry when he left, though, was trying to fix things. I called Grant, demanding more answers, but he brushed me off. "No evidence of foul play," he said. I didn't believe it. The witnesses' story of tailgating, brights, revving screamed intent. I started asking around town, knocking on doors near the curve. A retiree, Mr. Dawson, mentioned a mail van parked nearby that night. "Might have caught something," he said. I tracked down the postal service, begging for the van's dashcam footage. They were reluctant, but sent me a grainy clip after I filed a formal request. I watched it alone, my heart pounding, as Lucas's Civic came into view, brake lights flickering. A dark pickup truck was behind him, inches away, high beams glaring. It swerved into his lane, forcing him toward the curve. Lucas tried to brake, but the truck accelerated, nudging his bumper. He lost control, hitting the tree. The truck sped off, but one frame caught a logo on its tailgate. Peak Construction. My blood ran cold. I knew that company local, owned by a guy named Carl Ramsey. His daughter Ellie was in my sophomore English class last year. She'd called me her favorite teacher. I googled Ramsey, my hands shaking. He was 45, a contractor with a temper, known for bar fights. His LinkedIn showed a dark F-150, matching the truck in the footage. I called Grant, sending him the clip, but he was skeptical. "Could be any truck," he said. "No clear plate." I wanted to scream. Lucas was dead, and they were calling it an accident? I hired a lawyer, Diane, using my retirement fund. "We'll file a report ourselves," she said, her eyes fierce. "This is vehicular harassment, maybe worse." Diane sent the footage to a forensic analyst, who enhanced the frame, revealing a partial plate, CR7. It matched Ramsey's truck, registered to Peak Construction. I went to Ramsey's office, a dusty lot filled with equipment, needing to see him. He was there, barking orders, his F-150 parked nearby. My stomach churned, but I stayed in my car, snapping photos. Diane warned me not to confront him, so I sent her the pics instead. She filed a civil suit and pushed the police to reopen the case. Grant called, annoyed. "You're making waves, Karen. Ramsey says he was home that night." I didn't buy it. I kept digging, finding Ellie's social media posts about her dad's late jobs the night Lucas died. I felt sick, knowing I'd graded her essays, praised her poetry, while her father, Diane, got a break. A gas station camera a mile from the curve caught Ramsey's truck minutes after the crash, speeding away. The timestamp matched the footage. We confronted Grant with it, and he finally agreed to question Ramsey. I went to Lucas's room, clutching his note, "I'll make you proud," and found his phone, still locked. I cracked the passcode, his birthday, finding text from a friend, Jake. "Dude, that guy in the truck was on you at the skate park. Watch out." My heart stopped. Ramsey had targeted Lucas before the crash. "Why?" I called Jake, who was shaken. "Lucas said some guy in a black truck yelled at him at the park a week ago, said he'd teach him a lesson for cutting him off in traffic." I forwarded the text to Diane, who pushed for a criminal charge. Ramsey was arrested, but he laughed it off, claiming he never saw the kid, and the road was wet. His arrogance fueled me. I spent nights rewatching the dashcam, memorizing every frame, until Diane called with news. The analyst found paint transfer on Lucas's bumper black, matching Ramsey's F-150. It was enough for a vehicular manslaughter charge. The trial loomed, but I wasn't done. I went to the skate park, asking kids if they'd seen Ramsey's truck. A girl, Mia, said she'd filmed a fight there the week before Lucas died. "Some guy in a black truck was screaming at Lucas," she said, sending me the clip. It showed Ramsey, red-faced, pointing at Lucas, yelling, "You'll regret that, kid." I sent it to Diane, my hands shaking. This wasn't an accident, it was revenge. Ramsey had hunted my son, and I was going to make him pay. The clip from Mia, showing Carl Ramsey screaming at Lucas at the skate park, played on repeat in my mind as I drove home from the park, my hands trembling on the wheel. "You'll regret that, kid." Ramsey's voice was venomous, his finger jabbing at my son's chest. Lucas had looked shaken but stood his ground, his skateboard clutched tight. That was a week before the crash on Hill Road, before Ramsey's black F-150 forced Lucas's Civic into a tree. My lawyer Diane called it a slam dunk for the manslaughter charge, but my heart was a storm of rage and grief. Lucas's note, "I'll make you proud," sat in my pocket, a promise I'd failed to protect. Ramsey wasn't just a reckless driver, he'd targeted my son, and I needed to know why. I sent the skate park video to Diane, who was already building the case with the dashcam footage, the gas station clip, and the paint transfer on Lucas's bumper. "This proves intent," she said, her voice sharp over the phone. "Ramsey had a grudge. We're adding harassment to the charges." I nodded, but my mind was on Jake's text. "That guy in the truck was on you at the park. Why had Ramsey fixated on Lucas?" I called Jake again, my voice raw. "What happened at the skate park?" Jake hesitated, then spilled. "Lucas cut Ramsey off in traffic a few days before. Nothing big, just a teen thing. Ramsey flipped out, followed him to the park, started yelling. Lucas said he was creepy, kept showing up after." My stomach churned. Ramsey had stalked Lucas over a traffic light. I dug through Lucas's phone again, finding a photo he'd taken at the park, a blurry shot of Ramsey's F-150, license plate visible. I sent it to Diane, who forwarded it to Officer Grant. "This ties Ramsey to the park," she said. "We're subpoenaing his phone records to see if he was tracking Lucas." Tracking him? The thought made my skin crawl. I went to the police station, demanding to see Grant. He was tired, his desk cluttered, but he listened. "We're pulling Ramsey's GPS data," he said. "If he was tailing Lucas, we'll know." I left, my heart pounding, but doubt gnawed at me. Ramsey's daughter, Ellie, had been my student. Had I missed something about her dad? I went through Lucas's backpack again, finding a crumpled flyer for a skate competition the week before he died. A note in his handwriting read, "Ramsey was there, staring." My blood ran cold. I called Mia, the girl from the park, asking if she'd seen Ramsey at the event. "Yeah," she said, her voice shaky. "He was in the crowd, watching Lucas. I thought he was just some creepy dad." I thanked her, my mind racing. Ramsey wasn't just angry, he was obsessed. I drove to the skate park, needing to feel Lucas's presence, and found a graffiti tag on a bench, "Lucas M. R.I.P. Kids had left flowers, skate stickers." I sobbed, clutching his note, vowing to finish this. Diane called with a breakthrough. Ramsey's phone records showed text to a burner number, sent the night of the crash. "Kids on Hill Road. Do it." My heart stopped. Do it? Ramsey had planned it. "Who's the burner?" I asked. Diane's voice was grim. "We don't know yet, but it's not Ramsey acting alone. We're tracing it." I felt sick. Someone else was involved? I went to Ramsey's construction lot, staying in my car, watching workers load equipment. A guy in a red cap caught my eye, tall, wiry, driving a black pickup like Ramsey's. Was he the burner number? I snapped a photo, sending it to Diane. "Check this guy," I texted. She replied, "Be careful, we're close." That night, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Drop it or you're next." Attached was a photo of my house, taken from across the street. My blood froze. I called Grant, forwarding the text. "We're patrolling your place," he said. "Ramsey's in custody, but this could be his accomplice." I locked the doors, my hands shaking, and called my sister Lisa, begging her to stay over. She arrived, her face pale, and we sat up, Lucas's phone between us. I found a voice memo he'd recorded the day he died. "Mom, I'm sorry about the vape. I was stupid. There's this guy, black truck, keeps following me. I'm scared." My heart broke. Lucas had known he was in danger, and I'd sent him away. I sent the memo to Diane, who called immediately. "This is gold, Karen. Lucas's fear. Ramsey's text sits premeditation." She pushed for a meeting with the DA, who was now considering murder charges. I couldn't sleep, replaying the dashcam footage. Lucas's brake lights flickering as Ramsey's truck pushed him off the road. The next day, I went to the school, needing normalcy, but Ellie Ramsey was there, her eyes red. "Mrs. Miller," she whispered, "I'm sorry about your son. My dad, he's not a good guy." My throat tightened. "Did he say anything?" She shook her head. "Just that he hated some kid who disrespected him." I didn't know it was Lucas. I hugged her, my heart breaking for both of us. Diane got Ramsey's GPS data, showing his truck on Hill Road the night of the crash, tailing Lucas for miles. The burner number traced to a guy named Mitch, a peak construction worker, the one in the red cap. Grant arrested him, and Mitch cracked fast, admitting Ramsey paid him to scout Lucas's routes. Ramsey was pissed about the kid cutting him off, Mitch said. "Wanted to teach him a lesson." "A lesson?" "My son was dead over a traffic dispute." I wanted to scream, but Diane kept me focused. "We've got them both," she said. "Mitch is testifying against Ramsey for a deal." I went to the crash site, the curve on Hill Road, where a makeshift memorial had grown flowers, skateboards, notes from Lucas's friends. I added his vape, a silly gesture, whispering, "I'm sorry, baby. I trusted you." My phone buzzed Grant with news. Mitch gave us Ramsey's burner phone. Text confirm he ordered the hit on Lucas. "We're charging murder." My knees buckled, relief and grief crashing together. Ramsey wasn't just reckless, she'd planned to kill my son. I drove to Diane's office, the skate park video and Lucas's memo burning in my mind. She was readying for trial, but I needed more. I went through Lucas's phone again, finding a hidden app with GPS logs places he'd been, including a warehouse near Peak Construction, the day before he died. Why was he there? I called Mia, asking her to check the warehouse address. "It's a storage lot for Peak," she said. Shady rumors of stolen equipment. My heart raced. Had Lucas stumbled onto something bigger? I drove to the warehouse, staying in my car, watching workers move crates. The guy in the red cap, Mitch, was there, but he wasn't alone. A woman, mid-40s, was barking orders, her face familiar. I snapped a photo, sending it to Diane. "Who's she?" I texted. Diane replied, "Ramsey's sister Tara. She runs Peak's books. We're looking into her." My blood ran cold. Another player? I felt eyes on me and a black pickup pulled out, its driver staring. I sped away, my heart pounding, knowing I was close to the truth but in deeper than I'd ever been. The napkin from the diner, scrawled with Lucas's handwriting, "Mom, if I don't make it, check the warehouse." It's not just Ramsey, felt like a dagger in my chest as I stood in my kitchen, Lisa's worried eyes on me. Vince, Tara Ramsey's enforcer, was still out there, his threatening voicemail, "You're digging too deep," lady looping in my head. Lucas had died for stumbling onto their operation at Peak Construction's warehouse, and now I was close to exposing it all. Carl Ramsey, Tara, and Vince, tied to drugs, stolen goods, and my son's murder. I sent the napkins photo to Diane, my lawyer, my hands trembling. "This is Lucas's last clue," I told her. "Vince is the key." Diane's voice was steady. "We've got Tara and Ramsey. Grant's closing in on Vince. Stay with Lisa, Karen. It's almost over." But it didn't feel over. I clutched Lucas's sketchbook, his drawing of the van labeled warehouse. "Tell Mom, a testament to his bravery." I called Grant, forwarding the voicemail. "We traced it," he said. "Vince is holed up at a motel off Highway 24. We're moving in tonight." My heart raced. I wanted to be there, to see Vince cuffed, but Lisa grabbed my arm. "You've done enough, Karen. Let the police finish it." I nodded, but my mind was on Lucas's note. "I'll make you proud," and the dashcam footage of Ramsey's truck forcing him off Hill Road. I couldn't rest until they all paid. That night, Grant called with news. Vince is in custody. Caught him with a burner phone, text to Tara planning to deal with the kid Lucas. He's confessing, says Tara ordered the hit to keep him quiet about the warehouse. My knees buckled, relief and grief colliding. Lucas had died because he'd seen their drug operation, filmed it, and Ramsey, Tara, and Vince made sure he'd never talk. "What now?" I asked. Grant's voice was firm. "Tara's charged with conspiracy to commit murder, alongside Ramsey's murder charge. Vince is taking a plea, testifying against them. It's airtight." I thanked him, tears streaming, but it wasn't enough. I needed to face them. The trial came fast. I sat in the courtroom, clutching Lucas's skate park sticker, as Diane presented the evidence. The dashcam footage, Mia's video of Ramsey's threat, Lucas's warehouse clip, the napkin, his voice memo. The jury saw Ramsey's truck swerve into Lucas's lane, brake lights flickering as he fought to stay on the road. Diane held up Lucas's note, "I'll make you proud," her voice breaking. This boy wasn't a criminal. He was a son, scared but brave, trying to do right. Ramsey smirked until the jury saw his text to Tara. "Kids on Hill Road, do it." Tara's face was stone, but Ellie, her daughter, testified, sobbing. "Aunt Tara said Lucas had to go. I didn't know they meant that." The courtroom went silent. Vince's testimony sealed it. "Tara ran the drugs," he said, his voice flat. "Ramsey handled the muscle. Lucas saw us loading crates, filmed it. Tara said he'd ruin everything." The jury deliberated 3 hours. Ramsey got 14 years for vehicular manslaughter and conspiracy. Tara got 18 for orchestrating the murder. Vince took a plea, 7 years. I felt hollow. Lucas's absence a wound that wouldn't close, but justice was something. Diane hugged me outside the courthouse. "You did this, Karen, for Lucas." I nodded, tears falling, his note heavy in my pocket. The DA pushed for a highway sign at the curve. Lucas's name carved in steel. Lucas Miller Memorial Curve. Not a warning, but a promise some of us don't just grieve. We finish what they started. I quit teaching, my heart too raw to face classrooms, and used the civil suit settlement from Peak Construction to fund a foundation in Lucas's name. It taught kids skateboarding, gave them mentors, kept them off streets where men like Ramsey prayed. Lisa helped, her paralegal skills keeping it legal, while Jake and Mia volunteered, teaching tricks Lucas loved. I moved to a smaller house, needing a fresh start, but kept Lucas's room intact: posters, socks, his skateboard. I framed his note, hung it beside his sketchbook, open to the van drawing. Ellie visited one day, her eyes red. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Miller," she said. "I didn't know my dad." I hugged her, whispering, "You're not him." She joined the foundation, reading poetry at fundraisers, her voice carrying Lucas's spirit. The kids called her Miss Ellie, and I saw healing in her smile. A year later, the foundation hosted a skate competition at the park. Hundreds came: kids, parents, Lucas's friends. Jake landed a trick Lucas had taught him, dedicating it to him. I gave out scholarships, funded by donations from the trial's publicity. The local paper ran a story: "Mother turns tragedy into triumph." I didn't feel triumphant, but I felt Lucas's courage, his heart in every kid who skated. Lisa and I scattered his ashes at the park, under the bench with his graffiti tag, whispering, "You made me proud, baby." One night, I found a video on Lucas's phone. I'd missed a selfie at the skate park, his grin wide. "Mom, I'm sorry about the fight. I love you. I'm gonna fix this." I played it on loop, tears falling but smiling too. He'd been trying to come home, to talk like I'd asked. I saved the video, a piece of him forever, and donated his vape to the foundation, displayed with a plaque. Lucas's lesson: choose your path. The threats were gone, Ramsey's crew dismantled, the warehouse shut down. I rebuilt my life, teaching part-time, running the foundation, living for Lucas's promise. His name on that sign wasn't just a memorial, it was a vow I'd kept, a legacy of love and justice that carried us both forward. The black pickup's headlights burned in my rearview mirror as I sped away from the Peak Construction warehouse, my heart slamming against my ribs. I'd snapped a photo of Tara, Carl Ramsey's sister, barking orders at Mitch, the guy who'd scouted Lucas's routes for Ramsey's deadly plan. My hands shook as I gripped the wheel. Diane's text: "She runs Peak's books. We're looking into harrowing," in my mind. Lucas's GPS logs on his phone had led me here, to a warehouse tied to Peak, the day before he died. Had he seen something he shouldn't have? Was that why Ramsey targeted him, not just a traffic dispute? The pickup veered off, but I didn't relax. I called Diane, my voice tight. "Tara's involved. I saw her with Mitch at the warehouse. Lucas was there before the crash." Diane was sharp. "Get home, Karen. We're digging into Tara. This is bigger than Ramsey." I locked my doors at home. Lisa still there, her face pale as I showed her the warehouse photo. "You're in over your head," she said, but I couldn't stop. Lucas's note, "I'll make you proud," was my fuel, his voice memo haunting me. "Black truck keeps following me. I'm scared." I sent Diane the GPS logs from Lucas's phone, hoping they'd tie Tara to his death. She called back, her voice tense. "The warehouse is a front. Peak's been moving stolen construction gear, maybe drugs. Lucas's GPS puts him there hours before the crash. He might have stumbled onto their operation." My stomach dropped. My son dead for witnessing a crime? I went through Lucas's phone again, finding a blurry video in the hidden app, time-stamped the day before his death. It showed the warehouse lot, crates being loaded into a black van at Ramsey's truck, but similar. Lucas's voice whispered, "This is weird. That guy from the park's here." The camera panned to Ramsey, talking to Tara, their faces tense. My heart raced. Lucas had filmed them, proof he'd seen too much. I sent the video to Diane, who forwarded it to Grant. "This is huge," she said. "Tara's name's on the warehouse lease. We're raiding it tonight." I wanted to be there, but Lisa grabbed my arm. "Let the police handle it, Karen. For Lucas." I couldn't sit still. I drove to the crash site on Hill Road, needing to feel Lucas. The memorial skateboards, flowers, his vape glowed under the moonlight. I knelt, tears falling, whispering, "I'm so sorry, baby." My phone buzzed Grant with news. "We hit the warehouse, found stolen equipment, some coke. Tara's in custody, but she's not talking. Mitch says she gave the order to scare Lucas, thinking he'd snitch. Scare him? They'd killed him." I felt sick, but Grant wasn't done. Ramsey's text to Tara show they knew Lucas filmed them. That's why they chased him. My hands clenched. Tara wasn't just covering books, she was Ramsey's partner in murder. I called Jake, Lucas's friend, asking if he knew about the warehouse. Lucas said he followed that truck guy there, Jake admitted, his voice cracking. "Thought it was cool, like a detective thing." I told him to drop it. My heart broke. Lucas, curious, brave, walking into danger. I thanked Jake, promising to keep him safe, and sent Diane his statement. She was building a conspiracy charge against Tara, tying her to Ramsey and Mitch. "We're pulling Tara's financials," she said. "Peak's accounts show payments to a shell company, same one tied to the van in Lucas's video." A shell company? This was deeper than I'd imagined. Back home, another text from an unknown number. "You can't hide what's coming." No photo this time, just words. I forwarded it to Grant, my pulse racing. "Tara's got people on the outside," he said, stationing a patrol car outside my house. I showed Lisa the text, her face grim. "You need to stop, Karen." But I couldn't. Lucas's video, his GPS logs, were proof he'd died for their secrets. I went through his phone again, finding a note in his app. "Tell Mom I saw drugs at the warehouse. If something happens, it's them." My throat closed. He'd known the risk, left me a trail to follow. Diane called with a lead. "Tara's shell company traces to a guy named Vince, ex-con, runs a chop shop near the warehouse. He's the van driver in Lucas's video." Vince, another name, another threat. Grant raided Vince's shop, finding the van and more drugs, but Vince was gone, tipped off. "He's Tara's enforcer," Grant said. "We're tracking him." I felt trapped. My house a fortress, Lucas's room a shrine. I found his sketchbook, filled with drawings of skate tricks, one labeled for Mom. I sobbed, vowing to end this. I drove to the school, needing air, but saw Ellie Ramsey in the hall, her eyes hollow. Mrs. Miller, she whispered. I heard my Aunt Tara talking about Lucas. She said he saw something he shouldn't have. My heart stopped. What else, Ellie? She hesitated. Dad said they had to fix it before the kid talked. I didn't know. I hugged her, my voice soft. You're not them, Ellie. I called Diane, relaying Ellie's words. That's conspiracy, she said. Ellie's testifying whether Tara likes it or not. Grant called that night, his voice urgent. Vince is in the wind, but we found his phone at the shop. Text to Tara, ordering her to clean up the kid problem. It's murder, Karen. My knees buckled, but I felt a spark of triumph. Lucas's evidence was burying them. Diane pushed for a grand jury, adding Vince to the charges. I went to the warehouse lot, staying in my car, watching it crawl with police tape. A worker, nervous, approached me. You Lucas's mom? He asked. I nodded, wary. He was here, asking about the crates. I told him to leave, but Ramsey saw him. My heart raced. Did you see Vince? The worker nodded. He drove the van, took orders from Tara. They're bad news. I thanked him, sending his name to Diane. Back home, my phone buzzed a voicemail, not a text, from an unknown number. A man's voice, low and rough. You're digging too deep, lady. Walk away. My blood froze. I played it for Lisa, who called Grant. That's Vince, he said. We're tracing the call. I couldn't breathe. Vince was out there, and he knew where I lived. I went through Lucas's sketchbook again, finding a drawing of a van labeled warehouse. Tell Mom. My heart broke. He'd left me everything I needed. I sent the sketch to Diane, who called instantly. This matches the van in the video. We're closing in on Vince. Stay with Lisa. I couldn't stay put. I drove to the diner near the warehouse, a place Lucas loved, hoping for answers. The waitress, an older woman named Judy, recognized me. Your boy was here night before the crash, she said, her eyes sad. He was scared, said someone was following him. Left this. She handed me a napkin with Lucas's handwriting. Mom, if I don't make it, check the warehouse. It's not just Ramsey. My hands shook. I sent it to Diane, my heart pounding. Lucas had known it was bigger than Ramsey, and Vince was the key.